ladies and gentlemen, we have got a big, very informative radio broadcast lined up for you today. Daniel Estulin will be joining us coming up in 30 minutes from his home outside Madrid, Spain. And so that should be quite informative and interesting. Had a long 30-minute conversation with him yesterday morning, caught up on a lot of things that have been going on. He's been very, very busy. In the 2 years since we last interviewed him here, when he came on talking about the assassination plot against Congressman Ron Paul, that is still the only thing linked on the main page of his website. So he's been so busy, he hadn't even updated that. But he's got a lot coming up, been in Africa, seen a lot of harrowing things there, and got a new book coming out, so we'll be talking to him. Oh, also, he told me 2 years ago, but told me not to tell anybody, so I didn't. And I believed him because the guy's always been credible. Though if anybody else would have told me, I would have kind of been taken back that, the Halcyon group that bought the Terminator series and Philip K. Dick series and all of this, they have bought my book and are going to make it into a big movie, a big thriller. And I just so happened to know somebody who'd made a couple Philip K. Dick movies and worked with the estate, and I called them up and they said, yeah, that's true. Separately about the Halcyon group and the Philip K. Dick optioning basically all the works for 3 years. And so, then I talked to Daniel again, yesterday, and he said, no, it's true. They're going to have a press conference in Madrid, Spain, coming up on Friday with that. And then I Googled it and saw that it was already in some of the publications, some of the Hollywood publications like Variety. So that's very, very exciting. Congratulations to him. And this classic story of what happens over and over again, and I'll talk about it later before he comes on, took place. I just ignore everybody calling me 24/7 trying to stir up fights with myself and others. I've just learned to ignore it. But then what people do to stir fights up between me and other people is they go on the prisonplanet.com forum and they post things supposedly I've said and then use that as a source, or they post other people's stuff. And then other people, usually even the same people, call up others and say, are you seeing what Alex Jones is saying about you? And so I guess about a week ago, some French news site posted and said Daniel Estulin was at Bilderberg meeting, which is just ridiculous. And, they've had him arrested, other things like they've had me arrested. And that, and then somebody posted that on the Prison Planet forum, and then people gave that to Daniel, and then they had to put out a press release saying it wasn't true, because every time he does media interviews, he's asked about it. And then he was asked about it, I guess, off air and then on air, made the point on Iranian television, Press TV, that the crazies over at Prison Planet, he meant, obviously. I talked to him, that's what he meant, the message board, and what people were doing over there. So that's the type of dirty tricks I go through every single day. I have people faxing folks, reprogramming fax machines with our business phone numbers, death threatening people. That is routine. We have people programming their IP phones to say they're our business line and calling people. I guess IP spoofing. We have people just engaging in every form. Well, there's a bunch of other stuff. In fact, I shouldn't even list it all because it only encourages others to do it. But they have a lot of dirty tricks they use. I mean, they'll send out 10 million emails with my website cussing at people and then, to try to make folks file complaints about it being our email. But the good news is we're such a big website now, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, that most people have learned all these tricks, and it doesn't really cause us that big of a problem anymore. But we are seeing the attacks intensify with hack attacks and demonization campaigns. Speaking of that, we've been attacked by Bloomberg. We've been attacked by the New York Times again. We've been attacked by the LA Times, though that's somewhat fair compared to the other hit pieces. It still is one. We're just being attacked everywhere this weekend. So we have definitely arrived in a big way and are just entering into the vortex here. So anyways, Daniel Estulin coming up. Very excited about that. And then we've got Kevin Trudeau. Yes. It's like a Monday coming off Memorial Day, but it is Tuesday, the 26th day of May 2009. We'll be live here for the next 3 hours and 52 minutes. Daniel Estulin scheduled to join us coming up at the bottom of the hour, about 22 minutes. And then we have got Judith McGeary, Farm and Ranch Freedom Alliance. The feds are going around openly, and I even heard Brownfield talking about it this morning, openly bribing all the major farm and ranch groups, I mean with millions of dollars, even local chapters, to then threaten their members and tell them it's the law to accept animal chipping and premises ID. When you do the premises ID, you basically waive your rights, sign on to a corporate fraud. It is not the law. It is not the law. It's all color of law. So that is coming up in the middle of the next hour today. Then Kevin Trudeau. You know him of infomercial fame and best-selling author fame. The reason I've got him coming on is because I was on Mancow Muller's show about a month ago. And Mancow said, you know, I had dinner with Kevin Trudeau. He's a fan of yours. And here's his phone number. I was like, yeah, Kevin Trudeau's a fan of Alex Jones. And then I kind of wrote the number down at my house doing a radio interview over the telephone and then lost it. And then somehow we got contacted by Trudeau's office, talked to him. He's in Germany right now on tour this morning. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm a PrisonPlanet.tv subscriber. Watch all your films. Huge fan for years. And I had guessed that he was into the New World Order. It wasn't hard to guess because he sent some newsletters out I'd gotten copies of and talking about a one world government, New World Order the last few years. And he's a guy with a lot of influence. That's why the media and the feds have tried to come after him. How dare him sell books with supposed herbal remedies, you know, things that are well documented, like garlic's good for your heart. Goodness gracious. And, you know, aloe vera's good for burns. Oh, my. So radical. But it's just really exciting to learn that Kevin Trudeau is a big supporter of the show. He'll be on with us coming up. In fact, I appreciate him letting us bump him. Daniel Eslin's been so hard to get on the radio because he's been so busy writing his new book that he'll tell you about coming up. That's why I've been doing a lot of media, but he's about to start more because the book is basically done. And so he actually moved out to the countryside, he said, to finish it. Now he's going to move back into the city. That's why he'll be joining us by cell phone today. He's way out in the countryside in Spain. Boy, do I envy him. I'd love to live in the country. I tell you, cities are fine, but I love the countryside. Nothing like hearing crickets and frogs and just the relaxation of it. Anyways, I'm digressing. So he is coming up, and then Kevin Trudeau from Deutschland will be joining us on the show today. And we will have open phones as well.